This is Miriam Mukasa of AfricaTalentbank.com. Our podcast today focuses on CV tips. The previous ones have looked at cover letters. So your CV is there it's a marketing piece. It's your calling card to an organization. It's your only chance to make a first impression on those in charge of hiring or indeed declining to hire you. Your CV should have quantitative and precise achievements and results, and ideally should not exceed 2 pages, especially those of you with less than 3 years work experience. We will have other podcasts on executive as well as very senior level jobs in terms of appointments. But this is really for people with 3 years or less work experience. So if you're a recent graduate or someone with 3 years or less work experience, there's no reason for your CV to exceed 2 pages. First of all, HR managers are busy, and then you risk waffling. Other useful tips for your CV. 1. Spell check. Take pride in your work. There is no excuse in sending a CV or cover letter littered with spelling mistakes, because this shows carelessness and a lack of pride in your work. Indeed, some managers would not even go as far as reading your CV if your cover letter contained silly and careless mistakes. And also, please ensure that you spell the company name correctly. The number of CVs I have seen when we're recruiting on behalf of clients and they've spelled the company name wrong, it really makes you wonder sometimes. Then the next point is KISS. Keep it simple. CVs should be kept simple, tidy, professional looking, and only contain plain English, please. Using long words is unnecessary. And, if you're doing so in the hope of trying to impress an HR manager, this can backfire, especially if English is not your first language and you end up using long words in the wrong context. Also, don't be over technical or use slang or jargon in your CV. Use active rather than passive verbs. In other words, strong active verbs that present your skills and abilities in a few words by using quantitative and precise achievements and results. So to give you examples, in our CV, rather than just saying we were in sales, we actually quantify our accomplishments, our achievements, by using sentences such as boosted sales revenue from Kenya shillings 100,000 to Kenya shillings 2 million in 2 years. Now that tells us a lot more than someone who says top salesman in a company. We could use other examples: increase customer satisfaction levels from 20% to 60%. We can also use a sentence such as develop dynamic staff motivation program that produced record-setting performance increases. That really puts you as a go-getter. Then we now turn to another tip: email addresses. Please ensure that the email address you use is actually still active. A large number of candidates lose out on interviews because either their email box is full or they've changed, because sometimes it can take, for some companies, they can take anything up to 3 months or even longer to contact you. So by then you may have changed your email address, or you're no longer on campus, so you're not using the university address. So the email address you use, I always advise people, keep your email address in terms of your job applications, keep that separate and just keep it simple: name.surname@gmail.com or whatever it is. Just keep it simple. We don't need email addresses such as handsomeman@hotmail.com. That leave to your friends. It may impress your friends, but is unlikely to impress an HR manager. Same goes for voicemails. If you do have a voicemail, please keep it short. Hello, this is James. I'm unable to take your call at the moment. Please leave your message and I'll return your call as soon as possible. End of story. No need for music that takes 2 minutes, because the recruiter is busy. So just bear that in mind. And this brings us to the end of our CV tips. And in our next podcast, we look at interview tips. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.